Good morning, children of God.
Good morning.
1st of September. Ooh. 3-day weekend. Yay. Too much fun. Yay. So you just got to get your attitude right. One way to pick a future. I know where we're going with this. One way to pick a future is to believe that it's inevitable. We're going to talk about that a lot today. One thing I know for sure is that when we begin to celebrate, we can stand and sing in the silence. Loving Father, Mother God, we acknowledge your presence right here, right now. This day, in this moment, we choose to be open and receptive and responsive to your instruction and to your guidance in this moment, affirming our oneness. We are grateful for the opportunity to come together, to worship, to sing and to pray in the name, in the nature, and in the power of the Christ. Amen.
Today's daily word is unstoppable, and this morning the daily word will be read by Alice.
First of all, I'm going to read from Luke 9:1-2. Then Jesus called the 12 together and gave them power and authority over all demons and to cure diseases. And he sent them out to proclaim the kingdom of God and to heal. The lesson today is, I am divine energy and I am unstoppable. I have hidden stores of power and energy deep within me. When I face an obstacle, I reach inward to access the divine power of God that supplies my every need. Like the wind, which can blow with great power and force, yet remain unseen, the energy in me may not be visible, yet it is strong and vibrant and ever present. Through the power of God within, I am capable of accomplishing great things. As I learn to rely on this power, I unleash my full potential. I am eternally connected with my power source. It is divine. It is the energy of the universe, and it is unstoppable. I am this divine energy, and I cannot fail.
Every now and again, I think I have a handle on what I'm going to do next, and then I look at Steve and went, okay, let's make a little shift. What a blessing. It's good to have you back, my brother. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And a thank you goes out this morning before we begin our prayer and meditation, which is the direction we're heading, to Terry. One of the symbols that we use a lot is the notion of the butterfly that begins as a caterpillar So this morning you're seeing little caterpillars, and I saw some butterflies on a cake, which is just an unabashed plug for the dessert auction a little bit later. Just is, what can I tell you? Too much fun. One of the things that we know for sure is that the more we connect with the truth of who we are, the more we affirm the truth of who we are, the more opportunities show up for us to stand in the truth of us. Let's take our affirmation together. I am a child of the living God. I have within me the all-creating power of the Christ. It radiates from me and blesses all whom I contact. I am now in the presence of pure being and immersed in the Holy Spirit of life, love, and wisdom. I am now in the presence. Let's cement that with I am. From your heart now. With each breath I take, gently, easily, effortlessly, I move to that place in consciousness that is my secret place, my inner closet. And as I enter in, I close the door on those thoughts and feelings of what I should have done. I close the door on those thoughts and feelings of what I have yet to do this day and for right now, for this moment. I hold to the truth of my oneness. Here, in the stillness, in the silence, I am one with the Almighty Presence. Affirming my oneness, I feel the power flow through me. I am a channel through which good moves into my world. In this moment, I say yes. In my prayers, I have asked here, in the stillness, I listen that small, still voice responds, all my needs are met. In this moment, I say yes, and accept these gifts that come to me wrapped in love. I immerse myself in them. Each and every cell of my being, re-energized, revitalized, renewed. I am blessed. I allow this wonder to flow from me into this place. All comes together, and thought of like mind lifts us up. I am blessed. I choose to be a blessing, and this flow continues from this place. Into our community, touching each and every one of God's children. Flow continues across our state, throughout our country, touching each and every one of God's children. I am blessed. Continuing a process that we began on Wednesday, I hold all our leaders in the light and love of the truth of who we are as a world, God's children. We see good. We see love. We see peace. We know, regardless of the appearance, I am there. We are blessed. As this flow continues, touching each and every one of God's children, we know that somewhere, someone is saying, thank you, thank you, thank you, for in this moment, that which I needed. This day I accept. I feel the love. I affirm my oneness, and I send that forth in gratitude, and the gratitude returns to you. The circle is complete. I breathe, and I allow this flow to continue as I rest for one holy moment. Knowing there is more yet for me to do this day, holding to this experience we have shared gently, easily, and effortlessly. I bring my attention back to this place, to this moment, to this now. And from my heart, I join with you and pray as Jesus, our elder brother, has taught us when he said, "As for you, pray therefore in this manner." First of all, thank you. And in case I'm not saying it out loud, thank you. Why? For your prayers, for your understanding of the truth of who you are, and for your sharing, whether you recognize it or not. By your presence here in this moment, you lift up the consciousness of our entire world. I knew that was going to happen when I hear what's going on. I heard this morning, and I share it with you because it is another starting point, and we're going to talk about that some more. And it goes something like this: there is no positive, good solution. I went, oops, you guys haven't quite got it. A more correct statement would be this: in this moment, I don't see a solution, but I know only good can come. In this moment, I may not see a solution, but I know only good can come. Now, when I think that, then I'm not mired down into the problem of the day. I've elevated myself up. I've come up out of the muck, if you will, and said, okay, now would be a really good time for a little inspiration. How about a lot of inspiration? How about a whole bucket load? I could really need it right here in this moment. And the way we begin is a starting point for us. And part of that starting point goes like this: I need for me to know, and you and I need to know, the truth of who we are. In order for us to grow, we need to know who we are. And so when I say to you, as has been said to me, I am a beloved child of God, that is the truth of who you are, and that's where you need to start. Not where you are in the moment in your experience. Let me say that again. Not where you are in this moment in your experience, rather the truth of who you are. I am a beloved child of God. Let's take that together. I am a beloved child of God. Thank you. Yes, you are. Start there. Now, when you start there, now you've got a lot of opportunities that show up. Okay? A lot of different things will show up. They will come to you in the form of idea, divine idea. And once they show up in your world, then you have the opportunity, yes or no, to take them on. And to say, I will work with this opportunity. I will work with this truth of who I am, and I will put it to work in my world today. Even if I can't see it. Even if I'm not sure what it looks like. It's okay, because somewhere in it is a bigger picture, if you will, and the picture is of oneness. The picture is of the truth of who we are, that there is only one power, one presence in my life, God the good. This one is all, both visible and invisible. And you and I were created in that image. Now, just as surely as a human child takes on the characteristics of both parents, or the milkman, just saying. If that's true in our human evolution, how can it be other than the truth of us from a spiritual one? You and I were created in the image and likeness of God. You and I have those characteristics within us. It's there. Today would be a great day to say, I'm letting that out. Today, I'm going to shine the truth of who I am into my world. Today, I'm going to express goodness. Today, I'm going to know the truth of every one of God's children, that regardless of the appearance, I am there. Will I accept their behavior? Not necessarily. But I love them. Will I come up with a plan, a solution to move through whatever's going on? Well, let's take a look at some things. See, anytime something happens out here, I work as diligently as I can to bring it back here. Because if it's showing up in my world, somewhere in this body temple, it's showing up as well. And I just need a starting point. So for me, the starting point becomes awareness. There's something going on in my world that makes me unhappy. Anything that makes me unhappy is bad. Anything that makes me really unhappy is evil. Easy as that. So something going on in my world is either evil, which makes me really unhappy, or bad, which makes me unhappy. And I get to choose what I'm going to do next, and I choose happy. How do I get there? I need that starting point. The awareness is that that's what's going on. Am I really pleased with what's going on in my world? Not necessarily. Why? Well, there's a lot of turmoil out there. Okay. So if there's turmoil out there, what's going on in here? Maybe there's something in here that needs some healing and a little order and peace that I can then bring into my world. And so what does that look like? Oh, well, let's try this one. I get hung up in what's going on in my world. They are wrong and these are right. They are all wrong and I've really got it together. And if you guys would just get it together, then I would be much happier. But you guys have got a problem. You don't agree with me. Now that gets said frequently. It's a mistake, but it happens. And we, being human beings, give it what I call the oh well yeah response. Oh well yeah? You go into defensive posture and we put up a wall. And we stop listening. And if it's horrific enough, we stop breathing. Breathe. Regardless of the challenge, there is a solution. Breathe. In this moment, I invite that solution into my life. Breathe. And it is done. Now, that's how simple the process is. That's how simple it is. Okay? It is not easy. Why? Because the next thought is another, well, oh yeah. Well, oh yeah, if it's so easy, we haven't done it. I figure we're in right about the right time frame, if I read things correctly. If the Old Testament is really about 5,000 years old, to get to love thy neighbor as thyself. And we're only about 2,000 from that point. We still got another 3,000 years to really get it right. We're in good shape, I think. Now, does that mean that we can move it along? Yes. Now, I heard just somebody say this, so I will share it. Not going to happen in my lifetime. Yes, it will. Why? Life is eternal. It will happen in your lifetime. Now, maybe not in this physical incarnation. You get to choose what that looks like. I'm still trying to figure out what was going on with Methuselah. He did 980, if I heard the number correctly, but 900, let's round it down a little bit. Did 900 standing upright. Okay? If one can do it, all can do it. Okay? Another of my teachers healed the sick and raised the dead and made transition from this physical plane to the kingdom of God, ascension, and took this body with him. Point, he was 30 at the time, looked a little better than this 67-year-old one. Just saying. Okay? But he chose, and that was his starting point in recognizing the truth of who he was and giving us the option. An option. You see? Because that's really what it's all about. Options. What would you believe today? How would you feel today? How would you solve problems today? And again, if it's showing up in my world, bring it home. And if it's showing up in more than one place, really bring it home. Let me give you another example. It's fair to say that there's turmoil in my world, yes? We can all pick a country. And you don't have to go very far. Try this one on. There's turmoil within this organization that we call unity. Going on right now. Some people are very, very aware of it. Some aren't. And it really doesn't make any difference. It's still the same kind of notion. There is turmoil going on. Okay, so now I have 2 points of turmoil occurring in my world. So if there's one way out there and there's one close, how about if I bring it closer yet? What's going on right here for you that's in turmoil? It could be relationships. It could be a relationship of one kind or another that you would like to see much better in appearance than it's showing up in your world right now. It could be just trying to make a decision about what to do about something, and you're conflicted about it. And the reason is because you're trying to solve it from an out there perspective as opposed to beginning in here. It begins with, I am a beloved child of God. It begins with, regardless of the appearance, I am there with you. It begins with, I am in charge of your world if you'll only allow me to do it. I can move through you, and you can do anything. There is nothing that is not possible when you will come from that place. So whatever turmoil is going on, you can breathe and say, okay, there's a solution. Even if I'm not sure what it is yet. When I breathe and say there is a solution, it goes back to the way we began this morning. The surest way to bring something about is to convince yourself, believe that it is inevitable. Order, divine order in my world is inevitable. Peace in my world is inevitable. Love at every plane in my world is inevitable. That is the truth. Now it's on me. Now it's my turn to work. Now it's my turn to take the stuff that shows up in my world and say, in this moment I choose divine order. In this moment I choose peace. In this moment I choose love. I choose to express it. Now, sometimes we think that the way we express love is like this. Sometimes love is expressed with no expression at all. It just is. I don't need to prove to you that I can express love. I just need to do it. I don't need to prove to you that I express peace. I need to be peaceful, full of peace. You see? And when I do that for me, guess what? Healing takes place. Goes back to why I thank you for being here, because you remind me of what I have forgotten. And some of it's really just simple stuff. For 2 weeks we fought with the electronics until somebody in here reminded me that you need to change the batteries. Oops. Oops. And guess what? New batteries. Notice this morning, no problems. Okay. See, we get busy, is my point. We get busy. We're so busy in our stuff, we forget little things. But when we take the moment to reach out and say, I'm not on this journey by myself. I have a lot of company. And I can reach out because when I ask in prayer, God responds through His children, which is you and me. So somewhere a question got asked and hopefully gets answered this morning for you, whoever you are. And questions get answered for me, whoever I am. And when Steve comes to me and says, this is what's going on in my life, and I can say, this is what I see, and he goes, thank you. When I have the opportunity to go to you and say, thank you. You brought to me something I needed in the moment. Now, I already put it into the world, if you will, through my prayers. I need some help here. Okay, we have stuff going on in our world right now. We need some help here. What do I need to do? I need to open to reduce the turmoil. Notice I did not say eliminate. Why? Because quite frankly, my experience is elimination is too tough a deal. For me personally. Okay? Reduction I can get. Okay, I don't need 100% peace, but let's go for a little bit bigger percentage than we got today. I can be a little bit more, if I'm just a little bit more peaceful, and everybody on this planet is just a little bit more peaceful, in the next 24 hours we'll come up with a solution for this turmoil, whatever it is. Because we can remove hate, we can remove disorder, we can move disharmony. We can eliminate this notion of they and us and go back to one. It is our brothers on both sides of any given turmoil that is us. I love the pogo thing. We have met the enemy and they is us. They is us. What's going on there is us. What's going on here is us. What's going on in the unity movement as an example, it's us. There's stuff going on in our world. There's change going on in our world. I got that. We need a starting point. The starting point is recognition. Again, I cannot say it often enough. The starting point is the recognition of who you are. The starting point is the recognition that God works through you, that you are an aspect of being that can only be expressed as you in this moment. And that you're required. For those of you that think you have a challenge about purpose, what's my purpose on the planet? As long as you do this and have a pulse and do that and breathe, it's not done yet. And even if you don't have either of that, it's still not done yet. Because life is eternal. And that there's lessons in that. And part of the lesson is the recognition that we are never separate one from the other. I say to you on a regular basis, because it's true of me, that when I need something, when I really, really need something, and I can breathe for a minute, and oftentimes I'll come in here and I'll just sit in one of these chairs and just breathe. The lights are all out, nice and quiet. And just breathe. And I will hear the answers that I need in a voice that is familiar. It's not always that small, still voice that we talk about. Often it comes with a southern drawl. Frequently with a deer. It goes something like that. Not deer, D-E-E. Dear. It starts this way. You know the answer, dear. Makes it sound like a swear word. You know what I mean? We all have that kind of voices in our head, right? It's a reminder that you know the truth of. You just come from there. Say now, and then I can breathe that in. It's that starting point. And I can take the next step, whatever that next step is. And I can take it without fear. Because I know it's coming from the truth of me. And if I take the step and it doesn't seem to be working, I have the opportunity to do what? Breathe. Start from the point of who I am and take another step. Look for the outcome. Look for the experience. Each step. So the starting point is right now. It begins with the truth of who you are, and it starts with a statement of the truth of who you are as well. So that you can look at your world as well, but look at you. Today, what I'd like to do is I'd like for you to picture anyone on our planet that's still with us, or not, if that's the case for you, with whom you have a strong disagreement. Whatever that looks like. Got the picture? Breathe. I love you. Together. I love you. Breathe. Because you need to say it again. Breathe. Together. I love you. Hold the picture. Breathe. Again. I love you. Now, how many of you saw the picture change? And if it didn't, that's okay. It's a start. Hold that picture. I bless you. Together. I bless you. I appreciate you. Together. I appreciate you. Regardless of the appearance, I behold the Christ. Together. I behold the Christ. In that moment, from that starting place, our world has changed, and for that I am thankful. Namaste.
Thank you for listening. Please feel free to pass this message along to your friends and family. You can obtain additional audio tapes or CDs by visiting our website or by calling our office at 541-772-6902. We invite you to join us in prayer. We know that prayer works, and now you can send your prayer request to our prayer team here at Christ Unity Church by using the form on our website. The activities, programs, and services of this ministry are presented on a love offering basis. All gifts, regardless of size, are gratefully accepted. You may participate either by sending your gift to Christ Unity Church, 540 North Holly Street, Medford, Oregon, 97501, or by visiting us on the internet at www.unitymedford.org.